Yeah.
So where were my rights in the womb? Do I not get rights till I'm born?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
We're not going back! In New York, you can have an abortion through all 9 months. Do you see anything wrong with that?
Actually, I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Really wanted to be in my video.
I don't want to be in your
Oh, you kept putting your side. Oh, don't touch me. So welcoming to women with a different opinion. It's so interesting. Don't touch my stuff. Don't touch my stuff.
Don't stick your microphone in my face.
You're talking to me. This is a public space. How are you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm doing some videos for my independent YouTube channel. Sorry about that.
Okay.
And I noticed your
I'm the most
sign.
attractive person in the crowd. Is that what
You are. You stood out. Your sign really stood out.
Oh, you like my sign? Okay.
Yeah. What are we not going back to?
Not going back. Like I'm in my late 60s, right? So I grew up in a time when we were really second-class citizens, even though it doesn't seem that long ago. We didn't have sports in school. We couldn't own credit cards. Clearly, abortion didn't become legal until after, and slowly but surely, we've clawed our way to a point where we're starting to see the light. And now they want to come, and the new laws around voting are going to make it tough for married women who've changed their names. So there's a lot we have to pay attention to right now because they're coming for us, and we're 50% of the population. I mean, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
And what do you think?
Yeah, you mentioned abortion. I mean, I think that's a huge issue. So what is an abortion and why should we normalize it?
Well, it's not about normalizing. I think the idea is that you don't have to like it or even approve of it per se. The idea is that government should not tell you or me what we can do with our doctors, and you don't have to like it. It can be against what you believe, but because I believe something, I don't think that means that I can tell you what you need to do with your own body. That's it.
Some people say that it's not the woman's body that's like being affected in an abortion, but rather there's another person. Would you say that the person in whatever is in the womb, is that a person?
I don't know. I'm not a scientist, right? It's not up for me. I've had 2 children. I'm glad I had 2 children. It was rough. It's hard to do. It's hard on your body, and some women don't do well carrying a child, and maybe she didn't have the choice to become pregnant. We don't know the circumstances under which that may happen. May I ask who you represent?
Yeah, my name is Amber. I'm with Feminist Resist.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Right. So, as far as I'm concerned, that's not for me to decide, and I think that there's been a lot of spin around it that maybe isn't coming from gospel per se, but coming from more of an attempt to control women. And we got to wake up and say, this is my body. You don't get to let me die in a parking lot. Or, I know that, my own mother lost a pregnancy in the 60s. Nobody was going to tell her they were going to make her wait. They helped her, and she, didn't die in the 1960s, right? Wasn't even a consideration.
Yeah.
So that's going back before, and they took care of women back then.
Right.
It wasn't even a thought.
Yeah. So I mean, is just throwing it out. You don't have to be a scientist, but maybe just your opinion. Do you think that a fetus in the womb is alive? Are they human? Just your opinion.
You know what? I can't say. I don't know that because I think that somebody who's going to have a child can have their own opinion about that. But I don't know, can the fetus live outside of a woman's body? Is that what determines it? I can't say. All I know is that I think it's morally and should be legally not the case that we can decide that if you're the victim of rape, obsessed or your body is sick, that you can't survive your pregnancy, if that's the case.
Yeah. So let's just talk about just like elective. So say that the woman doesn't want it, like not the ones where they're, going to be in danger.
That's not my business. And are you a feminist for real? Or are you asking me this from a religious thing?
No. This is a human rights perspective that women should have rights from womb to tomb, right?
I'm one of 5 girls. Like I said, they say.
What about in the womb?
From womb to tomb. I don't even understand that.
Hey everyone, taking a break to let you guys know that you subscribing and following me on social media really does support. It allows me to come out here and expose these radical leftists. It lets me hire a cameraman. It lets me get protection if I need to. Some of these events get really, really crazy. So it really means so much to me if you could donate to me and also follow, subscribe, and like and share all of my channels. Thanks. From conception to natural death.
That's not for me to decide. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a theologist. I just know that you, as a woman, should have, pardon my word, agency over your own body. I know that he, as a man, has.
Well, don't assume his gender because we're all very, we express different ways here. But yeah, I mean, what if women? I was a woman in the womb.
Yeah.
So where were my rights in the womb? Do I not get rights till I'm born?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
Do you have a daughter?
Do I have a daughter? I have 2 sons.
Okay, well, let's say that one of your sons was a girl and they were a woman in the womb, because you can find out the gender before they're born.
Yeah.
Where were their rights in the womb?
I have no idea. I mean, I think that, you come out, you breathe, and we all, as breathing animals, human beings on this planet, hopefully we all have the same rights as human beings. And part of that is bodily autonomy. And that should be what modern society strives for. So that we leave each other alone and we just let each other live and we don't make determinations for each other. I mean, I'm not thinking about, geez, I carried 2 children, right? I gave birth to 2 children. They came out, they weren't breathing, they got slapped, they got cut from me, and then they breathed, right? That are in some order thereafter. At that
point, breathe through the umbilical cord when they're in the womb.
I'm not going to go there with you, pal. I have no idea, right? I have no idea.
For everybody to live, so then
you're making
that's a pro-life
point that you want to make right now.
Well, you said the right to everybody to live. Are you against the death penalty?
I don't know what you're getting at.
Are you against the death penalty?
I don't like the death penalty.
Why?
No. Because I don't think we get to decide that, when somebody...
We don't get to decide, so we shouldn't be able to decide for babies in the womb if they get to live or not, right?
The baby in the womb is not yet born, right?
But they're still babies.
No,
it's a stage of development.
They're not babies. Have you ever carried a child?
No, but I know what a child is.
So look, you did a really manipulative thing right here. You said you were somebody who you're not.
No, that's how I identify.
No, you're not. You came here and you tried to manipulate a conversation, and I told you what I thought, and then you tried to turn it. So you can.
It's not consistent.
It's very consistent. I told you who I am. You go with your spin, okay? I don't agree with you, so take your microphone and put it someplace else if you're trying to back people into a corner.
Oh, you don't need to touch my stuff. You don't need to touch my stuff. Thank you.
Don't touch my. Keep talking to her.
Yeah, you need to just get.
You don't need to tell her. This is a woman's march. I'm a woman.
Yeah, good. That's good. So go and support women. I told you what I thought.
Womb to tomb.
Yeah, womb to tomb. Good for you. And
Thank you.
You go do your spin and cut your tape and make anything.
We're going to play the whole thing.
Yeah, okay, good. And I hope you go ahead and further your agenda wherever you go. But if
you said that you don't believe in the death penalty because you don't think when we should decide
death penalty.
when to when people should live or not.
You can twist it any way you want, but abortion is not the death penalty. It saves
It's
lives.
putting someone to death without their consent.
Well, that's your determination. Are you a scientist?
Do I need to be a scientist to know what the death penalty is? Know what abortion is?
Scientist to know whether it's the death penalty or not. I suggest you get your microphone out of my face and go spin your lies someplace
You
else.
can walk away. I mean, this is a public space.
Yeah,
so.
no, you can walk away, and I've asked you to.
Okay.
Go spin your agenda to somebody else who doesn't like freedom.
Not an agenda.
It is an agenda, girl.
It's just facts.
Yeah.
You just proved me right.
Are you a scientist or a doctor?
Do I have to be a scientist to know what abortion is?
Yeah, it's not about that. Just get your microphone out of my face and go spin your agenda.
Walk away. You want to see my sign?
She wants to see that sign.
Hi. How are you?
Fine, thanks. You?
Good. What brings you out here today?
So I'm actually from Italy, so I'm visiting here. Yes, I'm far from my country, so there. Going back.
We're not going back. What are we not going back to?
To all the fights and like the past periods in which women didn't have any rights, or I'm taking, and which now we are trying to go and like live a life of like equity, equality with all the people, and everything is threatening this. Everything. This government today for your country, in my country too, there's a real threat, and it's rising in the entire Europe, and it's for women, it's for all the kind of migrants, all the kind of people, everyone, not for.
I keep hearing that these rights have been taken away, but I don't know. Like, tell me what rights have been taken away from women.
Okay, so actually, when you talk about rights, like legally, you cannot, like, they're not being taken away, but they are threatening them. And in your country, in many states, the right of abortion is illegal in 12 states. So I think that's a right, and it's not an obligation for anyone. So if you have a right, you have the choice, and you can decide. And if a right is denied, you cannot decide. So
how is it a right to have an abortion?
Actually, I think it's really easy to answer, but the right is something that it's something that can guarantee a decision, okay? So if you're here, like every person in this place is fighting for this for a reason, maybe.
I think I'm fighting for something a little bit different than what you guys are fighting for. Yeah, so I know that science says that life begins at conception. That's what scientists say. And I believe science. So I'm marching for women in the womb and also women outside of the womb. Because there are women in the womb as well.
Actually, I think that if you say you believe in science and you promote a message that like says that you're out, like when a woman like starts like with the conception, there's nothing like it's like a fetus. So I don't think. Yeah, and you.
What's a fetus? What is the definition of a fetus?
So actually, it's a group of molecules and I don't know, like of cells that creates in your body, and actually, it's so weird because you can start. So there are rules, and after like you cannot have an abortion after time, okay, of in which like the science defines that these cells can be considered like a human being. So the right of abortion is exactly.
Yeah, we're talking about science.
But
I'm not talking about religion. She mentioned religion, but we're talking about science. So science says that when the sperm and egg unite, they cease to exist on their own. They're now a separate entity with their own chromosomes, their own DNA. And so that's we call them an embryo.
Not a right to abortion.
Yeah, well, I don't think healthcare should kill people.
Your doctor need to make that decision.
You're not killing people with abortion.
You are. So you're making sure that they are, because they're humans. You're making sure that the baby is no longer alive, right?
The humans are the mother that like you don't know any situation. If you deny a right that can save or can preserve a woman that has
the ones where if she needs miscarriage management or ectopic pregnancy removal, I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about where the woman goes in and she's like, I don't want this baby.
Okay, but it's
because that's not an abortion.
Right. It's a decision. If you do it,
it's a right.
If you do it in the time that the science fines that you can do that, because you have the right to do that and it's not denied. You should do that, and you have to have the possibility to do that. A state, a government cannot deny that. It's not possible. And even if the law and everything gives like the opportunity, it's been taken off, because if you come in a place and you go in the hospitals and you promote life and stuff, you're going against a right.
Would you support any restrictions on abortion throughout pregnancy?
Throughout
Would you say that abortions in like the 8th, 9th month are okay, or would you set like a...
No, that is not possible, actually.
It is possible. It happens actually, 1% of abortions. So in America, we have over 1 million abortions a year, so that equates for over 13,000 late-term abortions. This is great background. Thank you all so much.
Okay. No, I think it's the 1%, so you have to consider. Okay.
It's still happening. So let's talk about it.
I don't know these data, so I trust you on these data, and I don't think it's not gonna have to happen. But you can actually, it's really that becomes really dangerous. Like if you're a doctor, and both of us, we're not a doctor, and we're not we don't know this kind of things, so you cannot say. But there are many high risks. But the science and the medicine also say that if you do it between the time that you can do that, there are no risks, and you're not killing people. So if you have the right of abortion, you should be inside that time, and there are laws, and you cannot, and they're not 5 weeks, so as in many states, because that is, you can do it even more, and after between 1 and 3 months and stuff. So there are
so
rules.
in New York, you can have an abortion through all 9 months. Do you see anything wrong with that?
Actually, I don't see nothing wrong with that, but I don't know actually the real risks and consequences if a woman decides to have an abortion on the 8 months.
Yeah, it's really risky, because the woman has to literally give birth to a dead baby, and her baby also dies.
If she's a woman and she has the right, she can decide that she can take her own risk, and she can say, okay, I'm having an abortion in 8 months as I'm having an abortion in 1 month, and she can decide, and she has the right. So I think it's better to have that right, and then to go in a state like, I don't know, Texas, and you have the right, and you cannot decide.
Well, Texas is actually caring about women, because they're saying, no, you can't kill women while they're in the womb. They have the protection, because in our Constitution, it's written the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. There's no right to abortion in our Constitution.
Okay, so I don't know your Constitution. Unfortunately, I have to study more. But what? No, there's no right of Constitution in your. There's no right of abortion in your Constitution. Okay.
We have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and babies in the womb are alive, so that should include them too. They should get the right to life.
I cannot answer.
I love Italy. I used to live there when I was younger, and I pray that they do not follow in our footsteps. Unfortunately, Europe is really following in America's footsteps, and it's unfortunate, but yeah.
Okay, but I think if you come here, and you see all of these people fight for something, is okay. I think right of abortion. So we have a different idea, okay, and I accept this thing, and there's nothing bad. I think right of abortion should be protected and included, in the Constitution and stuff. For example, in Italian Constitution, we have the right of abortion, but and we have the right of abortion, so the women can abort and go in the hospitals and abort. But actually, with the new government, with our prime minister, this right is being threatened, because there are many pro-life associations, so people that promote life like you.
What's wrong with promoting life? That doesn't sound negative to me.
No, nothing sounds negative of promoting life. But if you go and promoting life, if you say that promoting life, of course, is good. But if you take these associations and these organizations as promoting life in this context, so that go against a right for women, is not a right place to promote life. You can promote life by reducing the killing people, killing minorities, by doing many other things, and not
That's a good point. So black women are only 9% of our population here in America, yet they're sold 34% of abortions. So it is more likely for a black baby, so a minority, as you mentioned, to be aborted in New York City than be born. Do you see anything wrong with that?
So I think I can.
So we should just kill their babies?
No, their babies are dying because they get terrible health care. Fuck out of here.
So we should kill black babies. We should kill black babies because their moms can't get good health care?
Can I ask you,
Wow.
are you happy with the new government, like for the new president in your country?
Am I happy for the new president? Well, I'm happier than what the alternative was going to be, but
Why?
Trump is still very pro-choice. He's made that very clear, and he's just not strong enough on the life issue for me.
Okay, but why do you think it would have been better, like against Kamala, for example? What?
Yeah,
Why?
because
What?
Trump promotes strong borders. I want to protect Americans, and my husband is an immigrant. I paid thousands of dollars for him to come here. I want people to come here legally and do it the right way. I don't want people, bringing drugs and.
He's going against also people that came here legally.
No, he's only targeting people that have come here illegally and have committed heinous crimes, like Laken Riley's killer. Do you know who Laken Riley is?
No.
Yeah, she was a young woman, 22 years old. She went to University of Georgia, and she was brutally murdered by an illegal immigrant.
Okay. Do you know that Trump made the obligation to to clear the Black Lives Matter in front
Black
of
Lives
the
Matter
White
is a terrorist organization, so I don't have any problem with that.
No, it's not.
They burned down our cities. I know you weren't here for that, maybe, but they burned down our cities.
Trump supporter attacked the White House, so that was a terrorist attack, and now they're all free.
And I'm not saying that going into the White House and ruining things was the smartest thing as well. But I mean that is our property.
They should be in prison, and they should be
Should the people who burn down cities and in the name of Black Lives Matter be in prison?
I'm not saying that violence is not the right choice anytime. So that's why all these people are.
Why have we not rounded up all the people that were burning down Arby's and going into these fast food joints and burning them down? Why aren't they in jail?
No. I'm saying that violence is not. But I think that the problem of Trump is that he's the representation of violence in every.
Yeah, so that's what the media wants you to think, but why? I mean, I'm still not seeing that.
You're not.
Why would someone who believes in Black lives and cares about Black lives? Why would he permanently fund HBCUs? Do you know what a HBCU is?
Yeah, but I have to say, if we have a really different. I'm not American, so I'm really concerned about these elections, and I'm not American. So I think if you're an American woman, you should be really, really concerned too. So
I am very concerned. Yeah.
Yeah, you're very concerned, but not for your president. And all of these people are here to protest also against this president, this new government, and it's really sad to hear after the abortion and stuff that I really believe in the right of abortion, and I have it in my country. So
What happens in an abortion?
I'm here to fight for those women. Yeah.
What happens in an abortion? If you support it, what happens in an abortion?
What happens in an abortion? In which way?
What happens when you're getting an abortion?
What happens when if you decide to abort is because you have reason.
No, not why. What happens when you're going in and getting an abortion? What is going to happen?
Actually, that you lose that you lose the cells that were exactly
The baby.
No, it's not a baby.
What
it's
is
not a baby. It's an amount of cells that is not real.
You are an amount of cells.
Yeah, okay, but it's not you cannot define it like a. Stop. Yeah, you're right. Stop. I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Your body, your choice. You really wanted to be in my video.
I don't want to be in your
Oh, you kept putting your side. Oh, don't touch me.
Goodbye. Goodbye. So long. Fare thee well.
So welcoming to women with a different opinion. It's so interesting. Oh, I thought this was a women's march. I'm not in the wrong place.
Then you don't come here with honesty, and you just come.
I am honest.
Yeah, no, you came here to trick and deceive people. So
Because you don't line up. Your thought process doesn't line up.
Oh, but here.
Don't touch my stuff. Don't touch my stuff.
Don't stick your microphone in my face.
You're talking to me. This is a public space.